tell you, though, is insane. We've got a cast of characters here today. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So let's just dive right in. Welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right. Thank TGIF. Today is Friday, January 21st, 2022. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Friday, January 21st, 2022. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most. And I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Hey, we've been in this series here on hashtag Rise and Grind, all about bringing people together as we celebrate and honor Dr. Martin Luther King and his extraordinary ability to bring people together, right? To battle injustice, right? To help people see and understand that humanity itself is vulnerable when divided and yet profoundly powerful when assembling and acting as one. In short, we've been celebrating this idea that we are better together. Now, today we're going to take things a step further. We're going to bring the discussion out of the 60s and smack dab into 2022. Before we do, though, you know what we got to do on this show. Y'all know we got to do some dancing. Let's go. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. So let's get that body moving, all right? Listen, if you're running right now, you're out on a run, I'm going to need you to step it up a notch. If you're lifting some weights, add 5 pounds. Come on, you got this. If you're laying in bed right now, get your butt up. It's time for you to get out of bed and get rocking and rolling, or you could be doing like my girl Carmelia. You could be doing some dancing, right? Carmelia's dancing in the background right now. Can't wait to introduce all of y'all to her. Lolita's doing some dancing this morning too, right? There we go. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing around the world, get that body in motion. That's what it's all about, all right? That is what it's all about. This is also the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. Listen, if you're over on Clubhouse, hit the little recycle button in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. I want to see those numbers start to pop up. If you're on Facebook, share it out. YouTube, you know what you do. LinkedIn, you can do that just as well. What's up, Stephanie Fain? This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching this thing live or you're watching on replay, please say what's up. I'll say what's up back. I promise. I go back and I'll say what's up to each and every one of you. Good morning, Mariana Thomas. How you doing? Rita McGuire, great to see you. Kimberly Hatfield is in the building. How you doing, Dora Maria? I'm glad that you're here as well. Alexander Gonzalez is in the streets. What's up, Liza Myers-Borges? How you doing, Don Sankey? Renee Norris up in here this morning. Melissa Trout, Valerie Oakley. I see Gloria Bond. Coach Jackie Underwood is in the building. I'm so glad you're here, Coach Jackie. Thanks for being here with us on hashtag Rise and Grind. When I pop over to Clubhouse, I see Brian is here. I see Jackie's in the building. Allison and Laverne are both here as well. Rita and Angeline. What's up, Shelly? How are you? How you doing, Renee? I see Oliver and Oscar and Triple J, the heavyweight champion of the world, is in the building today as well. I love it. I love seeing all your faces. Thanks for being here with me this morning. Over on YouTube, Christina Howard is here. Over on LinkedIn, oh, that's Lolita. She's everywhere. I see Justin Conoco over on YouTube as well. I love it. Bringing people together from all around the world. And listen, we have an incredible show for you today. I'm super excited. We're going to be bringing you my man Manny here in just a little bit. Manny Cabo. I got to meet this dude in New York City, and he is straight fire. That's the only way to explain it. You know, some people are just rock stars, right? You just see him, you're like, that dude's a rock star. Manny's a rock star, and he's going to be here on the show today, which I'm super, super excited about. We're also bringing my boy Rich Cardona. Rich Cardona is going to be on the show today, and there's a really interesting full circle story when it comes to Rich Cardona, because he does NFT for newbies with our girl Heather Parody, who used to be a part of hashtag Rise and Grind last year. So that's a little interesting dynamic, full circle. We're going to be talking about that today. And the last thing I want to let you know before we dive all the way in is we do have the Morning 5 planners back in stock. If you ordered one recently when they were sold out, they're now back. They're all being shipped. Check your mailboxes. You should see them any day now. And if you haven't got one yet, go to themorning5.com. That's right, the number 5.com, and go ahead and grab you one of those planners. You're going to want to do that. Trust me. And with that said, let's dive in to today's episode of hashtag Rise and Grind.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed.
Here we are, 2022, a year filled with electricity and excitement. Everybody's like, new you, 2022. Let's go, let's go. I'm coming off the back of a couple crazy years, right? And here we are, 2022, this very unpredictable season. I think to put it lightly, I think all of us know and understand that pretty much everything that we thought maybe was not possible in the past, we're realizing now that anything is possible, right? Can you agree with me on that? I see you over there. I see you over there, Valerie. I see you over there, Ina. I see you over there, Janelle, Mr. Mike Overfelt. I see all of y'all. I think we can all agree we're just like, anything can happen at this point, right? They drop aliens on us. We'd be like, see, told you. Won't nobody be surprised no more. After what we've been through, I don't think you could surprise us with just about anything. And so here we are in 2022 with this electric season. We don't necessarily know what to expect, but we know that we can pretty much expect anything and everything, which creates an interesting dynamic, right? Because see, when we combine that with the fact that there are now 7.9 billion people on this planet, 7.9 billion people on this planet, all experiencing basically the same thing for the first time in the history of humanity, which is crazy, but 7.9 billion people, which is 7 billion people more than there were on this planet just 200 years ago. I want you to think about that for just a second. I mean, look at the growth of human population. Even just from 1950. 1950, there was only 3 billion. And here we are at nearly 8 billion people, right? 7.9 billion men and women and children and moms and dads and sons and daughters, each of them marching to the beat of their own drum. And overall, when you look at it in its whole, I mean, it's incredibly beautiful, right? Like, it's incredibly beautiful in so many ways, all of the uniqueness, the individuals that contribute to this thing called humanity. And to me, it's incredibly beautiful on top of that when I start to think about the creativity that is being expressed at a breakneck pace, right? I mean, communication nowadays is happening nearly as fast as the speed of light. And though divided in many ways, as we as humans have this deep desire to be right that is stronger than our need for understanding, In many senses, this is a season where we are coming together and starting to act as one, a collective conscious. It's kind of like these
mesmerizing waves when they feel threatened.
Hold up.
When a wasp or some other large insect gets too close to the hive.
There we go. It's kind of like these honeybees right here in South America, right? They ward off any threats by a symphony of motion. Ultimately, each individually acting, but together protecting the whole. And so when I look at that, I think about us here as humanity, and I think at some point, we are going to have to put down the guns. We're going to have to stop bickering with one another. We're going to have to stop fighting one another. And at some point, we're going to have to start thinking about the whole. You see, we're going to have to break out of the silos that have been created by social media, the silos that have been created by the media in general, the silos that have been created by our innate desire to spend time with and do life with those that look like us, walk like us, talk like us, and think like us. You see, I believe that we're headed into a season where the only solution in modern day 2022 is for all of us to start breaking bread with those that don't look like us, don't walk like us, don't talk like us, and to really reach a point where we begin to embrace, literally embrace, those that oppose you. You see, once we start to understand that we are better together and we shine light on this simple truth that we are all actually brothers and sisters, children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything, and all made as a collective to be able to propel the next generation forward. I think the sooner we can come to that agreement and the sooner we can come to that understanding, I think the sooner we move things forward. You see, technology is moving at a breakneck pace right now. The world is spinning around on its axis, at least I believe that to be true. I stumbled into a flat earther clubhouse room the other day. That was interesting if you've never experienced any of that. But technology is moving at a breakneck pace as the world spins around on its axis. And I believe we are hurtling towards one of the greatest opportunities to unite humans in the history of all humanity. Better together, a symphony, an orchestra. You see, I get to experience that every morning with you all right here on #RiseAndGrind, where I see Stephanie Fain coming in from one side and Eileen comes in from another and Lane Simmons from another. And of course, we've got Gloria from a completely different perspective and angle and belief system. And I love it. Because see, as we break bread, as we come together and we have breakfast as champions, I think we start to expose ourselves and experience this shift in real time. My friend Sara McCord, who's here today, and Marvin, that you'll get to know here in a little bit, and Carmelia, that's here with us, Lolita, that's here with us, Manny Cabo, Ramon Reid, all of us from different angles, but yet collectively we're able to create something so profound, so powerful, and so impactful. We could never do it alone, but clearly we're better together. Listen, as you go into your weekend, I challenge you. Find those that don't look like you, don't walk like you, don't talk like you, and find a way to not necessarily agree, but to understand. In our group, the Morning Five, we've been reading and studying together Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights. And he talks in that book of how he went over to an African country and he was sitting at a table and these two gentlemen were arguing over the state of a woman. This woman had chose to sell her body to make a living, and these two gentlemen were debating on that being wrong or that being right. She was a Muslim woman and so on and so forth. And Matthew McConaughey popped in and he said, I agree with this guy. She shouldn't be doing that. It's wrong. And the guy that he agreed with snaps at him and says, listen, Matthew, it's not about right or wrong. It's about, do you understand? And I think the sooner we get to that as humanity, the better. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to bring Manny to you today. I'm excited to bring Rich to you and Lolita and Sarah and Carmelia and Ramon and Marvin and Alexander. And I'm excited to send you out into the weekend making an impact. Better together. This is Breakfast with Champions, Millionaire Breakfast Club, your opportunity to get a seat at the table. And check it out, man. Breakfast with Champions is everywhere nowadays. That's right. We've got the podcast. We're on places like Wisdom and Fireside. We're going to Green Room, and we've got YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. Wherever you can join us, we would love for you to come get a seat at the table. Become the champion you know you are inside with Breakfast with Champions.
Good morning, everyone. I think I might have a slight delay, so I hope I'm not talking over anyone. Carmelia, I'm so excited you're here and we can introduce you to everyone. I feel like we should start there before we chat about what Glenn shared this morning. As I said, I think I have a delay, so Carmelia, let the people know who you are.
Hey everyone, good morning. It's Carmelia. I am a relationship expert, celebrity matchmaker, and media maven, and I am part of this show this morning. So thank you so much for having me. I'm also on Clubhouse right now, so I love the fact that not only are we together here with all of you, wherever you are, we're actually everywhere right now. So if you do not know me, I want to know you. I want to say hit the like and follow button, but you know what? I just want to talk, and I'm so glad that I'm here. So thanks for having me, guys.
I'm so excited you're here. So I met Carmelia for the first time in person at our Breakfast with Champions consortium in New York City. It's actually where I met Glenn for the first time in person too. And it's so funny, I have to say, I have a pop-in the next hour, and I ended up deciding I'm going to talk about being a show-up person. And so Glenn, like as always, we're oddly aligned in our content, which is really cool. But with that, I will pass the microphone back to Marvin and Lolita.
I'm super
There is a delay.
super
There you are, Marvin.
excited to have you on the show today. How you doing? No, I was just saying I'm super excited to meet you finally face to face. It's been a year now. I've actually been on Clubhouse. Not that I want to make this whole conversation about that, but when you sort of hear someone's voice on a regular basis, you always want to meet them face to face. So it's amazing to actually meet you here live on camera.
I think Marvin's froze up. The rest of you all want to keep going.
Well, let me pop in because I think Marvin is frozen for just a second. Carmelia, can you hear me?
One by one, everybody's freezing up.
Well, I can hear you, Glenn. So
Yeah.
let me just pop all the way in. Listen, this is all about bringing people together. And although I feel like I'm frozen on camera, I hope you can still hear me, everybody. But this week has been phenomenal. And what better way through adversity and triumphs and trials of technology than to bring people together by just pumping it out? What we know is that we are feeding the soul on this show. What we know is that we bring people together intrinsically. And I'm just so excited about that because one thing about you, Glenn, and we haven't really talked about that, is you have this vision. And it's not just a vision, but it moves to action. And a lot of folks say, oh my gosh, I could do that. How is Glenn doing it? But here's the reality. Glenn is doing it. And so he took the action in order to make some things happen. I just pray that this show continues to bring folks together, folks from all over the world, right? Folks with differences. And I love that you said this morning, pop in and lean in to folks that have differences so you can learn a little bit more. Challenge yourself a little bit differently. Shake a little bit brighter. So I absolutely love it.
Yes, I think that you are spot on, Lolita, and this has been fun, and it has been challenging. Just like right now, I believe 90% of the people that are here that are hosts are frozen at the moment. They're all knocked out, which is great. So wait, I see. Okay, no, I see a little movement there. No, everybody else is frozen. It's just me and you, Lolita, and I think I see Ramon. I think Ramon is nope, he's frozen up. Yeah, that's right. So I need to. Here's what I'm going to have to do, Lolita. Check this out. This is some real time adjustment. So for those of you that are listening, you're probably like, "What is going on?" Those of you that are watching the show, it might make a little bit more sense, but it's still pretty crazy. So watch, check this out. I'm going to do some real time. I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. I'm going to replace that. I'm going to go boom, boom. This is real time production right here. We're going to go boom, boom. I'm going to replace that. And then I'm going to go boom. I'm going to pull Lolita just like that, and then bam, look at there. It's just you and me, Lolita. That's it. Everybody else is out. They got cut out. No, for real, I'm gonna have to do some kicking. Apparently they can't get back in. So, but Lolita, we talk about some of the challenges, right, and that come, and I appreciate you so much, all of you, as we work through all of these things. But really, it is a question of, and for me personally, it's like, what are you committing to doing? Because it's not going to be easy all the time, right? Like I was talking to my wife about this last night, and how, yesterday the whole show kind of shut down, and I was like, my automotive business is so much easier. Like, so much easier, right? We just signed 2 more dealers into the automotive program. Like, my automotive business is easy. This stuff is very, very hard. But then when we look at the impact that this is making, yes, we make an impact in the auto industry as well. But it's like spiritual warfare. It's real, right? It's real. When you're out there trying to do good, there is forces against that. That's just the reality of the situation. And so it's like, how committed are you to doing the thing? Are you only going to do it if it's easy? Or are you willing to do it when it's incredibly difficult? Like, for example, right now, where no one else can get into this show except for me and you, Lodi. So what do you think about that?
Well, let me jump in a little bit while you get some things together and talk to the people about this notion of doing it scared, doing it hard. And sometimes when the forces pop back into us and the easiness wants to grab us to the corner. So this is what I love to coach people around. And so this is for you guys for a little bit of consideration. Imagine this. Imagine yourself as the conductor aboard your train. Now, this is not the first time that you guys have heard me say that. But when you look into the future and you see your vision, you know your why. So let's just use Glenn, for example. Since I've known him, since I've met him, he's always talked about, I want this TV show. I will have this, I envision this TV show where I am motivating, inspiring, and educating. I know it. I see it. I can absolutely feel it. So he's marching towards that aspect. And yes, there's people that come on board. There's people that add value. There's people, by the way, who fuel this train, who fuel this thing to go, right? We make choices as we are on our train. So what I ask you to remember is when the time gets tough, when you run out of gas, when you get into that mud, that's stuck in the mud, and you got to get out, and y'all got to push, who is it that's around for you to push, right? Who is it that's going to help you push? Sometimes, we talked about it this morning on Breakfast with Champions, is sometimes people are just going to self-elect to get off of your train, and know that that's okay. Is it hurtful? Hell yeah. But know that I have this vision in mind. Now, here's the trickiness of it all. I don't want to crush people on my way to get there. But what I do know is I can see it, I can feel it, and by God, it's right there. So I'm going to go and go and go. And so the challenge that I have for you guys today are 3 things. I love the power of 3. The first is know your vision and know your why. Tell everybody in the world about it, because some of those people might be coming on your train to help you. Okay? I love it. Number two, know that people are going to fall on the wayside. And when you know that, you feel those feelings and those emotions, but it becomes a little easier to know that there will be people that pop on with me, and I know that it will be okay. And by the way, I'm grounded in my faith and my strengths, and they have wings to protect me when I fall. When I fall. Did I say when I fall? I'm pretty sure I said that. The third thing is that you got to know that when you get there, you're already celebrating, because you can feel that energy, that notion, and that motion that is going to make you, like Tim Story always says, that miracle. That miracle mentality is waiting for you. So what I will say is, while we bring people together right here in this right now, we're doing the work that you always intended. Hey, Glenn.
Hi, Lolita. I just love you. I love you. I love your mind. I love the way you're able to utilize the English language to inspire is so incredibly powerful. And with that, I love you so much that I am about to kick you out to see if I can reset the link and bring everybody back. So hang on just a second. I'm going to give it a shot and see if this works. Otherwise, it's just going to be me and you all. All right, let's go. Or we're going to have to shut the whole thing down. Maybe it'll start over. So I'm going to disconnect this rendezvous session right here. Disconnect. Okay, boom. I'm going to disconnect it. Okay, there we go. That's disconnected. And now I'm going to reconnect to the previous session and see if we can't get everybody back. All right, reconnect to previous session. All right, done that. Boom. I see. Oh, here they come. Here they come. I see Sarah. I see Marvin. I see Ramon. Okay, a couple people coming back. Good, good, good. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Since I see Ramon right away, we're just going to shoot on over to the good news so Ramon can share some good news while I try to figure out the rest of this stuff. Ramon!
Good news. It is so good to be here. Rise and grind with Glenn Lundy. I hear a slight echo.
I hear an echo too, like crazy.
Testing 1, 2. Good
there you
news
go.
is
It's
in
gone.
the house. All right. Good news is here. Great. No echo. Good. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Good News on Rise and Grind. So glad to be here today. Thanks for joining us. 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Monday to Friday. Our 3 good news nuggets today are best streaming services of 2022. It's Friday, January 21st. So I said to myself, you know what? Why don't we entertain people a bit on Friday to see what their watching pleasure may be? A new look for The Office. Many of us have redecorated and upgraded our office. I know I have here at Rise and Grind, New Jersey headquarters. So we'll talk about the new look for The Office and how one woman's nonprofit to help the elderly animals find a home. Let's dive into the good news segment today, the brief version, because I know the clock is running. So the best streaming services of 2022, no shocker here, Netflix for sure got the top rank according to US News, but there are some others. Amazon Prime, Disney, Funimation, never heard of that one, Hulu, HBO Max, Peacock, Crunchyroll, Paramount Plus, and Apple TV round out the top 10 according to US News. Then there's an interesting thing here, a new look for The Office. What are some people doing to upgrade, refresh their office? I thought that was pretty amazing what people are doing. And by the way, if you're listening to it, I'm curious, have you upgraded? Have you refreshed your office in the last several months? CEO Jack Kelly makes some suggestions for rethinking office spaces. Jack Kelly says, make the office seem like a high-end boutique or private club. That seems like something Marvin would do in his office, or Camellia. More video screens to communicate with a distance workforce. Glenn probably has 47 video screens in Rise and Grind Studios in Lexington. Reserve certain days for those working from home who want to come into the office and see coworkers. Have places for guests to come in. Low stress, comfortable environments, and employee connecting technology. And last good news of the day, this is very interesting. Angela Rafus's grandfather passed away. She ended up having to take care of her grandfather father's cat, Mackenzie. But lo and behold, they didn't know what to do with it. So it says here, while Mackenzie didn't seem to love Angela, the two created a bond that eventually went viral on TikTok, prompting Angela to tell viewers her story. The point of the message of this good news segment is when our parents, when those who are elderly kind of get older, what happens to their animal? If they're sent to an animal shelter, that may not be so great. So if we can open our hearts to take care of all of God's creatures. This is Ramon Ray on today's good news segment. And now I see the smiling faces that come back to my screen. I see Carmelia, Sarah, Marvin, and Lolita looking at me. I always get like, whoa, I didn't know it was the team here. What's up, y'all?
Ramon, I love how you jump right back in, right to it. True professional, absolutely incredible. And you're correct. Glenn actually has, he does have 47 screens in Rise and Grind Studio. I counted when I was there, when I signed the chalkboard. That's completely accurate. And 82 microphones. That's what happened this morning.
Absolutely. What's up, Carmelia? Welcome. How are you, dear?
I'm great. Oh my goodness. It was nice. It's nice to hear your voice again, but it's always great to see your face. And Marvin, thank you for the acknowledgement. I feel the same way. I see your beautiful, I believe it's a black and white photo on Clubhouse, but now I get to see your actual face. Same with Lolita. I've met Sarah and I've hugged her in real life. We worked out together. We sweat together in New York. And now
we partied together in Miami. We've done the whole gamut of experiences.
We don't talk about Miami.
Yeah, you tried to hide that one. You tried to hide Miami.
She's like, we worked out together. We learned together. I'm like, Miami was in there at some point as well.
Absolutely.
Hi, Lolita.
What stays in Miami? What's the secret? It's usually Vegas, but I think we'll add Miami to that list now, indeed.
I think we should, Ramon. I think that would be a smart move, right? I don't know what those young, amazing, tremendous women did while they were over there in Miami, but I think we're gonna leave it right there. Ramon, thanks for popping in, brother. Love the good news with you. Thanks for filling in for Scott Simons yesterday as well. And you and I got to give you my friend Sharon's phone number. I talked to her yesterday about what you and I talked about 2 days ago, and we're gonna move forward on that. So thanks, Ramon. We'll keep that a secret too. Thanks, Ramon. I appreciate you guys so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was Ramon Ray. Make sure you're following Ramon Ray. All right, Ramon Ray with Smart Hustle. And next on the stage, I'm going to bring my boy Manny Cabo. Now, I told you about Manny. I met Manny in New York City. He sang on the rooftop in New York City during our fashion show at our very first Breakfast with Champions experience. And it was freaking amazing. I was like, this dude's a rock star. And so I'm super excited to bring him here to you today for your listening pleasure. Manny, how are you, my man?
I'm good. Always. Well, that's a lot of bravado for a bald guy in a mic, man. But listen, I love stepping into this zone and this space, such motivation, such unity. And you know me, I'm all about it.
I love it, my man. I am excited for you to sing for them today. So if you're ready, I'm gonna hand it over.
Yeah, I'm always ready.
Let's do it.
So for those of you who don't know me, this is the voice of Manny Cabo. You may have recognized me from The Voice or La Voz. And when I was asked to do this, I was beyond humbled. So here's a little Sam Smith. I usually cover this in one of my sets. And hey, by all means, if you guys know the lyrics, then sing it with me. You and me, we made a vow, for better or for worse. I can't believe you let me down, but the truth is in the way it hurts. For months on end, I've had my doubts, denying every tear. I wish this would be over now, but I know I still need you here. You say I'm crazy, 'cause you don't think I know what you've done, but wait. unavailable. And sadly, I know why. Your heart is unobtainable. Even though Lord knows you kept mine. You say I'm crazy, 'cause you don't think I know what you've done. But when you call me baby, I know you're not the only one. I have loved you for many years, and maybe I'm just not enough. You made me realize my deepest fear by lying and tearing us up. You say I'm crazy, 'cause you don't think I know what you've done. When you call me baby, I know you're not the only one. And I know, 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 I know you're not the only one. Yeah. I know you're not the only one. I know you're not the only one.
My
You're not the only
man, my man.
Yo, this is not my normal singing hour, so that's a big challenge for me. But for you, anything, Glenn.
Well, dude, you absolutely killed it as usual. Not surprised at all. The rest of the crew was like, "Hey, give us a little Manny this morning. Glenn, quit stealing the spotlight." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna toss you over to them."
Well, yes, and yes, I hear the little back. Hold on, going. I'm not the only one. I love that, Manny. So tell us a little bit more about that song. You know, what does it mean?
Originally, when they wrote the song, Sam, in this case, it's about heartbreak. You know, it's about love in general, and love could be pretty tricky sometimes, you know, and Carmelia in the room could talk and elaborate for hours on this. So I'm definitely not the expert, but I could tell you one thing. You know, love is one of those emotions that conquers all. I don't care about anger. I don't care about hate. I don't care about jealousy. No matter what it is that you're enduring, you know, the power of love, whether it's hurt or pleasure, whatever aspect it is the most powerful emotion on this planet. So I figured, why not sing about it? And I'm sure someone in this audience can relate to the energy of that song.
Marvin,
I would love to pop in.
I know it.
Yeah, I would love to pop in and ask a question, but I know there's a bit of a delay. But look, that was absolutely amazing, and I think for me, whenever an artist performs, obviously there's the music, and you know, you can get a lot from the body language. But I know you do a ton of humanitarian work as well, and I'd love for you to sort of create the space for you to speak about that.
And for me, it's always targeting our youth. You know, these are our future rock stars. So there's nothing more compelling for me, nothing more inviting and humbling than to speak to an audience of our future. And hopefully, and I'm alluding to what Glenn had said earlier before, hopefully we can unite, and hopefully we can teach our younger generation to do it better than we've ever done. So this is a huge opportunity, and it's one of the reasons why I'm focusing on bringing just more love into the world, man, offsetting the toxic narratives of hate and jealousy and inequality, man, because we have enough of that garbage.
Hey, that was an incredible performance, and I saw you perform in New York, so this is a treat for me. And what's interesting is this song I know very well, and yes, I'm a relationship expert, and maybe you don't know, but we actually are in breakup season, guys. Breakup season happens right after Thanksgiving. They term it the turkey drop, and not because you dropped the bird, but you got dropped or you dropped somebody, okay? And unfortunately, breakup season goes all the way until March, even though we're approaching the month of love and Valentine's Day is around the corner. So this video is gut wrenching. So for anybody that's dealing with, relationship issues, don't be alone, reach out. I think it's so important that this title, We Are Better Together, is important. So surround yourself with great people and don't make it mean because you broke up that there's something wrong with you. I have a lot of people that attach themselves to relationships and think that they're better with someone. So start with self-love. And I just wanted to honor you for that amazing performance.
Correlates to what you're saying. It says, being in a relationship will not save you, and being alone will not kill you. So that always resonated with me. So, maybe the song was serendipitous. I don't know. Maybe it's a perfect, extension of what you were saying because of breakup season. See, I did not know that. That's why you're the expert, and I'm just singing about
it. A breakup season. I didn't even realize that was a thing. That was a thing, right? I guess I've been.
Status update. So Facebook status updates in these months are unfortunately back to single or complicated or all those funny things. So
Gotcha. I guess I've been out of the dating game for a little while, Manny. There's something about being married and having 8 kids that kind of takes you out of the dating circles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you think 8 kids? I mean, come on, 1 kid is enough.
Manny, thanks for being here with us today. Will you do me a favor? Will you come back in a little bit and sing another song?
Absolutely. Like I said, man, especially now that I realize you're a Raider fan. I don't want to talk about that, but 100%, man, I'll be here.
Yeah, man. Hey, we had a good season. I'm proud. All right, man. Well, we'll see you back here in just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my man, Manny Cabo. Make sure you go follow him, look him up, connect with him, download his music. He's got a couple different projects that he's working on right now. I know he's got a new album coming out in early March. He's got a top 1% music podcast called Mojo for Musicians. He's got a new book coming out and all of those things. So we're going to bring Manny back here in just a little bit for another song. Until then, though, what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce you to someone that you might know her a little bit by name, but I want you to get to know her a little bit better. So I'm going to hand it over to Sara McCord. Sara, how are you? And who are you?
Good morning. I'm so grateful that Wirecast let me back in to speak with all of you today. So as you all know, we're doing these segments this week where you can get to know each of us a little bit better. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to speak on today, I realized this morning that I wanted to talk about being a show-up person, because show-up people are my favorite kind of people. It's probably the attribute that I value most in others. I look for people who are show-up people. And I think everything that we've been talking this week has been leading me to think about that. I think about every time that we've seen those speeches from Martin Luther King Jr. that Marvin has pointed out the crowds and every single person who was there. I think about the topic of the clubhouse rooms around networking this morning, who you need in your network, and you need show up people. And also one of the cool things about Wirecast, to give you some behind the scenes, is you can see the little squares of everyone else who's in the green room. And with the exception of Rich, who I haven't met yet, and I'm sure you are a show up person, every single little square I see, and Glenn, who's just somewhere managing, are show up people. And they're my favorite kind of people. So being a show-up person is so fundamental to me. My grandfather used to always say, help when it's needed, not when it's convenient. But the special thing about being a show-up person is that it isn't just to help. It isn't just the fact that I'm pretty sure I've cried on the phone with every single person in these little square boxes, and they know that they could call me up and cry as well. But, as Joy Farley, the friend collector, always says, your friends, they don't only divide your grief, they multiply your joy. And I know for me, in the, craziest moments in my life, crazy good, crazy hard, it's the people who say, where are you? And who literally show up and who are there. It's interesting. When I met Glenn at the Breakfast with Champions Consortium in New York City, about 60 seconds before he went on to close the entire event, before that whole segment, he walked up to me and he goes, hey, you're going to introduce me for this, because it's our working relationship. We weren't partners or besties at this point, but Glenn usually gives me about a 60-second heads up before I'm going to go on stage and introduce the closing speaker. And I just kind of had to roll with it. And I remember afterwards, I went to my friend Brad Caldwell, and I was like, "Oh my gosh," because I was actually a little starstruck by Glenn when I first met him, of being like a Clubhouse celebrity. And I was like, he's done all these things, and I just talked about what a good person I've come to meet over the past 10 days. And I remember him saying, "Sarah, that's the highest compliment you can give. You did fine." And that's really what matters to me and people. That's why we take the time every day to thank every single one of you for listening, because you're showing up with us, to thank every single one of our moderators for creating content, because you're showing up with us, to thank every single person who shares, who uses their voice, because we're creating something as a collective. When I thought about who am I, obviously the first thing that came to mind for me is being a mama of 3. And I think about, as parents, that moment when your child sees you, right? And they look at you, and you see that unconditional love, and their face lights up and your heart jumps around in your chest. But I think it's also because from that earliest age, they're seeing that their grown-ups are show-up people. And we know how important that is. And that most fundamental and that most initial relationship, we're taught from the moment that we're born that the people who love us show up. So then what does it mean as an adult when you meet those people in your life who aren't too busy, right? Who can literally show up for you in any moment, who can take that time. And I think that, my encouragement to you today, and what I would say about me, is that I love show up people. And I think that in order to have show up people, you also have to be a show up person. So I was saying, like, I hung out with Carmelia in Miami because I got the invite. So I showed up. My girl Candice, if she can't be there in person, she will send you flowers. She will send you a card. She will call you. Show up for the people in your life you love, who you care about, and you will collect show up people. And what you can create together, just to bring it full circle again, like, every time that Marvin points out every single person who was there when Dr. Martin Luther King was speaking, they made the choice to show up. And that's partly why that movement had so much impact, had so much power, continues on today. And so everyone who's listening, you're making the choice to show up, and you're show up people. So you're my favorite people. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, was being a show up person, because I think it's the most important thing that we can do, is show up for others. And I'm done speaking, as we say on Clubhouse.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that you are attracted to and find value in show up people, because you are a show up person. That is exactly what you reflect. We all know that we can call you at any time. We can count on you at any time. We know you're going to burn the candle on both ends to do whatever it is. We know we can go to you with our highs and with our lows. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that is the thing that you value most, because that's 100% who I believe you are, is a show up person. So thank you for showing up, Sarah, and always delivering. You always do.
Thank you.
Show up. I love that you centered yourself around that you centered your story around showing all the way up, Sarah, because that's how I see you too. So because you are in the hot seat and we are looking to know more, here is my question to you. How do you, Sarah, show up when the times get hard, when the times get tough, and you want to just stick in the mud? What do you do to still show up?
Love that question. There's a Gabby Bernstein quote where she says, "It's impossible to feel helpless when you're helping someone else." And so I think that actually one of the most powerful things that you can do when you're feeling stuck is to get out of your own stuff. Like Donna Bowling always says, don't sit in the rhymes with sit. Like, get out of your way if you're stuck. Go help someone. Go be a show up person. Go focus on what's going on with someone else. And it's a perfect way to move, and it helps everyone. It uplifts them. It uplifts you, because when we're in community, it's true, we're stronger together. So
I just want to pop in and say that today I was a show up person, and because one of your regular hosts, Scott, is doing something, and when Sarah calls, or it was Candice who calls and says, "Hey, can you be available?" I'm like, when, where, and I'll make it happen, because you guys show up for me, and you show up for our community on Clubhouse, and you show up whether we have tech issues, whether things break down, it doesn't matter. We are all just going to get back in, and we are going to wait, and we're going to make it happen. So I'm so happy to be a show up person, and I want to acknowledge every single person in this conversation, and everyone who's listening who showed up for us today, because you are a show up person. Even though I don't know you, I really want to thank you for being here. Your energy feeds me and motivates me to wake up earlier than I wanted to. So there you go.
Carm, you are absolutely a show up person. As I said, every single person on this call, I texted Marvin at midnight last night. I was like, I just sent an email. Can you pop the room at 5 a.m.? And he did, because this is a room of show up people.
I wish you wouldn't keep saying that, because now people are going to start messaging me at ungodly hours, and you know that.
But everyone knows I'm the exception. You make exception.
No, look, just to bring it full circle, I think I echo what Glenn said. I think people who are show up people attract other show up people, and ironically, this is exactly the conversation that we were having in Clubhouse or in Breakfast with Champions this morning, with Lolita and Stephen, and I shared a quote about the fact that time decides who you meet in your life, and your heart decides who you want in your life, but your behavior decides who stays in your life. And I think the way you carry yourself definitely attracts similar people, and that's how you grow. That's how you grow and you evolve as an individual. You continue to bring the right people around you. So you are a show up person, which is the reason why you attract them. And I'll pass the mic back to Glenn.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree 1000%. Sarah, thank you for sharing more of who you are with us here today on hashtag Rise and Grind. You are amazing. We'll come back to you and the rest of the panel here in just a second. What we're going to do right now, though, is we're going to bring Rich Cardona on here in just a second. I'm super excited to introduce you to him, and I personally, selfishly, am super excited to get to know him even a little bit better, because him and I share some synergies, and we got to talk about a few things. And so we'll be right back. Rich Cardona, just a second. Stay right where you're at. This is Breakfast with Champions Millionaire Breakfast Club, your opportunity to get a seat at the table. And we got to tell you, we're super excited about the new Morning 5 Planner. If you've been looking for community, you've been looking to connect with like-minded and like-hearted people that like to rise and write their gratitudes and their goals, people that are interested in evolving into the best versions of themselves that they can possibly be, then the Morning 5 Planner is for you. That's right. You can go to themorning5planner.com and get you one today. So ladies and gentlemen, this good-looking guy right here, this is Rich Cardona, and I could go through a whole bio on him and all of those things, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that this dude has a really cool podcast called NFT for Newbies that he does with my friend Heather Parody, who, if you've ever watched an episode of Rise and Grind before, you would know Heather because she used to do segments for our show for about 6 months, and she also spoke on our stage at the Grow for God event. So when these two got together, I'm like, who is this dude with my Heather? And now I'm getting to know him even better, and he's amazing. So I'm just going to bring him on in here, ladies and gentlemen, with today's spotlight, Rich Cardona. That is powerful, valuable stuff. Have you ever had anyone ever give you a better bio in the history of all time?
I feel fantastic. I feel 10 feet tall right now, Glenn. Thank you so much for having me on.
Bro, I'm so glad you're here. When I saw the thing, I'm like, wait, the Rich, because you're like a celebrity in my eyes right now with your NFT for Newbies. What you and Heather are doing is so cool. It's blown up. It's everywhere. Your Instagram cracks me up. I believe it was yesterday. This might be a weird intro, but I believe it was yesterday that you were, I think you had your one of your kids capturing a fart in a cup, right? So that you could sell it. I think
all for the gram.
All for the gram. The things we'll do for the gram. So Rich, man, what's up, man? Welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I'm excited to meet you. What's going on in your world? How did this whole NFT thing come to be? Let's talk about this a little bit.
Yeah. So, entrepreneurs always have that kind of shiny object syndrome, and I'm a very big Gary Vee fan, and I've had some good one-on-ones with him. I've been super fortunate to have that. So when he starts talking about this NFT business, and I'm looking at the process of even just buying an NFT because he's launching this thing back in May, I'm like, I need to get a crypto. I need to get a wallet. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And all I knew was if you got one of these NFTs, you have access to his conference for the next 3 years. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, well, I've gotten to meet him. I have a good relationship with him and his staff. I'm like, I'm not going to pay $2,000 or $2,500 to go to a conference for, each year for 3 years. Well, I ended up doing it anyway, and I saw how it exploded. And then I met Heather in person for the first time at a conference in Nashville, and we still had no idea what we had invested in. So we said to ourselves as podcasters, why don't we just make a podcast about it and we could learn on the spot and educate other people. Little did we know, like, it just went to the moon. Like, I mean, super quick. I mean, we did 100,000 downloads in 100 days. The next 100,000 took 17 days. The next 100,000 took 14 days. I mean, it's just crazy. And all we want to do is educate people on this kind of tidal wave of crypto and NFT that's going on, and doing it in a very elementary style. Heather, you now know me. Like, we don't play around. Like, we don't pretend to be experts, and that's the whole attraction. And it's worked out perfectly for us.
Yeah, I love it how you guys have kept your identities of who you are. You entertain as you educate, and you definitely don't pretend to be, all high and mighty and, we know everything. You guys are like, man, no. I don't know. All I know is this girl made 200 grand selling farts. So we're trying to figure this out. It's so funny when you posted that too, because I was at an event last week, and there was a surprise extra 30 minutes that I had to speak at the event. And so I called Les Brown, who's become a friend of mine, and I'm like, hey, Les, what would you do in this situation? And so he goes off and he tells me a story, and then he goes, we live in a world today where there's a woman who's making money selling farts in a jar. I said, what, Les Brown? And he literally sent me the link to that particular article, which was absolutely crazy. So before you met Sarah, you mentioned, or it's not Sarah, there's my Sarah here. Before you met Heather, you mentioned that you were kind of into Gary Vee, had met Gary Vee like a couple times. What were you doing at that point that had you so intrigued by Gary? And are you still doing that on top of what you're doing now? Or was that an old project and now you're on to a new one?
Yeah, so I own a media company, and this is great. I appreciate the question. I was working at Amazon. I had retired from the Marine Corps. I worked at Amazon for a couple years, and I was, miserable. I was very still high performing, but I just kept saying almost every day, because I was on a night shift. When I was going to bed during the day, I would say to myself, like, there's got to be more. There has to be more. That's when I came across him. I got very intrigued, and then I started making content. I found my way to him. I started creating, started having a podcast, and then I wanted to kind of do two things. One is help small business owners who are approaching 40 or at 40, I'm 41, realize that entrepreneurship is still completely and utterly possible at that age. And also, obviously, for veterans, 25% of veterans want to start their own business, only 2% do. So I'm like, let me be a conduit to that. And I started a podcast called The Leadership Locker. And then I started, and it's funny, your name came up many, many times, especially with Patrick Bet-David. When I interviewed him, he's like, I got to get to talk to Glenn about Clubhouse, because we did ours on Clubhouse.
Right.
And I started interviewing some of these people, and then I started doing, LinkedIn content, and I started doing podcast production and just really helping people who were behind the scenes. And Claude Silver really well. She was my first ever client. I'm like, Claude, Gary has content for centuries. You don't have anything.
Right.
You are a chief heart officer. How many chief heart officers do you know? Can I make content for you? And then we went, and that's what it started. So I like to just get people visible, and I love to just get people's messages across in an effort to help them kind of understand their personal brand and their own business.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that you're doing that for people, elevating those voices, because that's not everybody's gift, right? Like, they might have a voice, they might have a message. Claude is a perfect example. She's got an incredible message that needs to be heard around the world, but that doesn't mean she's necessarily gifted in getting exposure, working social media, all of those things. So I love that you're doing 100%. That for people, and I love that you've joined forces with my friend Heather Parodies. Isn't she just the greatest human ever? Like, she's so amazing.
I know.
She cracks me up, dude. She cracks me up. So I love that you guys have joined forces, and now you're helping elevate her as well, because she's somebody that everybody needs to know. NFT for newbies. For those of you that are like, what is this NFT stuff? This is where you got to go. They're interviewing a bunch of people that are in the space. They're asking the real, I don't want to say real hard questions because they're not hard questions. They're asking the real dumb, low-level questions like, I still don't understand why someone's paying $439,000 for a JPEG of a gorilla. Can you help us out with this? Right?
Exactly.
And I love that you guys are doing that. And so I'm going to, Rich, I'm going to hand you over to put you in the hot seat real quick. The rest of the panel wants to ask you some questions, and I'm being really selfish here. But I am saying to all of you that are listening right now, you got to go follow Rich Cardona, and you've got to listen to NFTs for Newbies. You just absolutely have to. So with that, I'm going to put you out in the hot seat right now. Ladies and gentlemen,
ready.
You got him. Hello, hello.
Carmelia.
Oh, you know what? I'm not seeing the four screen. My face was looking at Rich. And I'm like,
She's so excited. She's speechless.
He's such a good-looking guy. He had her bedazzled. She was bedazzled.
I'm like, hi. I love this NFTs for newbies. Question for you on that. Do you think, because I know a little bit about NFTs, certainly classify as a newbie, so you'll bet that I'll be listening to podcast one, however long that takes. So are you going to be minting your own NFT? And do you think, number one, because you have I'll call it a unicorn podcast. I have so many questions, so I'll just stick to the one question I have. Are you going to be minting an NFT? And do you believe that not anybody should have an NFT, but I understand that you build an audience first. You should build an audience first before the NFT. And at the same time, if you just like art or you're new to the platform, just like you created a conversation around NFTs on a podcast, not thinking it was going to do that. So could people just do and try an NFT and maybe hope? There doesn't have to be a strategy to it, right? Just to play around with it. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I'm going to answer those in reverse order. So last question first. Anyone technically, yes, of course, can do an NFT, but the intent is everything. And I know this group of people right here understands the power of intention, the power of community, the power of people. What's more important than an NFT, which as I'm learning more and more, is that it is not necessarily about the JPEG or the NFT that you could buy. It is more about the use of blockchain technology. And what I'm seeing big time is anyone who's looking to try and make a quick buck with some art that they got 10,000 copies of or made on Fiverr or whatever, maybe it has a chance. Most projects are going to fail. It's the companies that are starting to understand how they could leverage it in terms of a business. Okay. We had a fitness individual write us the other day, and we're like, okay, well, why don't you make NFTs on some transformations that some of your clients have had, and anyone who buys this might, one of them is going to be a mystery one where they get 1 year of free coaching with you. It's all about the utility and how you could use it in a business aspect, because a lot of things are going that way. So it's so much less about the trendy kind of art and everyone flocking to it than it is about the utility case in a business sense. So I believe it's going to challenge businesses to think way more creatively about how they could leverage it. And then second, yes, we've minted. We mint once a week as of 2 weeks ago. Our first one, and this is Heather's idea, and I wish she was here. She's like, why don't we just do one of us brushing our teeth? I'm like, what are you talking about? And we are weird, both of us. So we did this one of us brushing our teeth, but we actually made it behind the scenes and showed people the whole entire process. And we put that on YouTube because we get that question all the time. Your question is a lot of people's question. So yes, you're a true newbie. So we did that. And then the next one, now we have our YouTube team is like, we're going to come up with challenges for you guys and you're going to make an NFT every week. We're like, fine. So we pick a random numbers, like you guys are going to learn how to ride a unicycle this week. And that's going to be the NFT, like a 10-second clip of us falling. Next week, we got to go to the DMV in very specific outfits and get a new driver's license picture. We're just trying to have fun because everyone does think, number one, that it just has to be a boring kind of profile picture or something really creative. And we're trying to say it doesn't have to be. And by the way, we're going to teach you how to mint, where to mint, how much it's going to cost, and all those good things.
Hey, I have one question. That was so good. First of all, I have subscribed just now to NFT.
Good, thank you.
I cannot wait to write a review and to just go through all of them. Really quickly, I am working with an amazing group of poets that I met on the social app Clubhouse, and we are doing a poetry NFT, motion and music. It's going to be amazing. My
Excellent.
question to you is, what one piece of advice would you give to a collective group that is pulling together an NFT?
The advice I would give is to interact as much as possible with the people you assume to be consuming your poetry, your content, so that way you can leverage that in forms of potential people to invest in the NFTs. The second most important thing I would say, this is just how it is right now, but I have to tell you, Twitter is very, very big for the NFT space. That's where NFT people are learning. That's where people go to get knowledge. That's where people go to get updates. So Twitter, if you don't have a Twitter page for the NFT project, you will absolutely want to do that. And then last but not least, Discord. I hate Discord. I'm just going to tell you guys straight up. I hate being on another anything, but I'm on Discord, and our community is about to reach 1,000 this week, and they got questions galore. They're sharing their new NFTs that they buy. They're just saying good morning. It's a really tight-knit community, and that part you just have to lean on. So that's what I would say is just engage with the people who consume your content. Get Twitter, get Discord.
Oh, so good. And I love that you said that. I'm a big fan of talking about your dreams. And how about I haven't even been talking about this? Thank you so much for that reminder.
You're very welcome.
Rich, I'm
All
with
right.
you, man. Discord, bro.
Brutal.
It is brutal. I don't think anyone I don't even think the Discord people like Discord.
I know. Look, thanks. I hate Discord. Yeah, Discord. I will get you guys a Discord, but yeah, it's a necessary evil, and I've just got to do it. So.
You know what? It's one of those things where it really comes down to the utility. Discord is a utility platform. There's a lot of utility to it. It's not pretty. It's not user friendly. It's not fun.
No,
but it's utility, right? Because you can reach. You now have those 1,000 people in your Discord currently, which that number is going to grow rapidly, I'm sure. But you can reach every single one of them with whatever message you want to deliver. It goes to everyone. You don't have to battle algorithms. You don't have to battle somebody else's platform. It's your community. You can message them directly. Like Discord's where it's at. It's not fun, but it's where it's at. Some of these things are painful. These things are painful, but I love it. 100%. So what is your Discord channel? Do you want to drop that on us, or is that do you want to
NFTs? It's NFTs for newbies. So you guys could check it out. If you go to our Twitter or our Instagram, there will be a link, and there will be a way to get the invite into our Discord, and just let us know where you came from. But we're there to serve. And I think the one point I need to reiterate about what you said, it's not algorithmic, right? Like no one's posting and it's getting prioritized or deprioritized. It's just what it is. So don't spend all your time in there, though, everybody. I mean, it's easy to get stuck in there.
It is indeed. Hey, the crew, I think it was Marvin wanted to hit you with one more question, so I'm going to pop you back.
Yeah, let's do it.
No, amazing. Thank you, Glenn. I just wanted to ask one very quick one. I've got so many questions, but I'm trying to condense them down.
Yeah.
You answered the one about where to find the community, right? Ironically, I thought that would have been like Clubhouse, but Discord makes sense. But Twitter I was surprised by. So that's very, very useful information. The other question I had for you was, what are you seeing that's really sort of blowing up now in terms of the types of NFTs? Because I've seen everyone do. I mean, I'm a huge fan of art anyway. And I've got various different pieces and stuff. So I'm seeing artists now really get into it. I've seen Coldplay collab with people and get into it. But what are you seeing as like, you know, the new wave of types of NFTs that people are doing?
What I'm seeing, to be honest, and I had a conversation with the president of Vayner NFT, Avery Akineni, about this, is female art is exploding. Like, and it is seriously beyond some of this generative art that people are making. A lot of projects are leaning on. There's this one project called World of Women. That was my very first NFT. I think I bought in for $207 or something, and now the floor price, meaning the lowest one available now for sale, is over $20,000, I believe. But it's the art is incredible, but the community is more incredible. There's one called Boss Beauties. They collaborated with Marvel. I mean, I see Spider-Man behind you. That's a big deal. Like, that's a big collaboration. Woman in Weapons. I mean, it is just very, very different. And when I had that conversation with Avery, I didn't mean to say in any way, and I wasn't insinuating that it wasn't always amazing, but I am seeing it just tear to shreds some of the kind of cheap, trying to make a quick buck NFT projects out there. So that's what I'm seeing on the rise. There's a very, very big movement of kind of female empowerment, female artistry that is taking it by storm. And I love it all. I own half my wallet is some of those artists. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
I love that, man. I love that you're in the space. I want to learn more. I want to get to know you more. We need to hang out somewhere. Where do you live?
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay,
Heather's
cool.
actually on her way up here today.
Oh, is she? Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
we're going to hang out.
Well, you're not too far from me, so we're going to have to make that happen, man. I appreciate you being here on Rise and Grind. My Matrix NFTs, what's going to happen with those, man? Are those things going to blow up?
Oh, man.
What's going on there?
Just don't even look at them. Don't worry about them. Don't look at them. Just let a year go by and then look at it then, and then you will save yourself a lot of stress.
Red pill, blue pill?
Yeah, red pill.
All right, cool. Hey, Rich, I appreciate you. Excited to get to know you better. Thanks for being here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to go follow this guy. And most importantly, I think you should follow the guy. But really, most importantly, hop on to NFT for newbies. Download the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. It really is funny. It's witty. It's entertaining, and it's educating all at the same time. So you guys got to hop on over there. Rich, thanks again for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Rich Cardona, my man. He's amazing. And another amazing superhuman we have here on the show, the one and only Alexander Gonzalez, has been out there in those streets hanging out with y'all. And so we're going to see what he's got to say this morning. Alexander.
What is up? Good morning. Coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky, where I am freezing my tookus off. Guys, these not clubhouse streets, but these social media streets, because we're all over social media, are blowing up. Christina Howard, I just have to say a big shout out to you for always going over to Twitter, always commenting on every single platform, basically. You're a queen. And we have her saying, here, Justin Conico says, let's grow, fam, love you all. We also have Lolita Walker always coming in. I love seeing Lolita, Carmelia, Ramon, Sarah, Candice, all of you guys typing and all. That's right. Even these people here are blowing it up. Abundant Health Service says, baby boomers, we're getting it in. Okay, there's a little bit of a delay on my end, I guess. Also, Dr. King said, we need to live as that brethren, or we'll die as fools. I love that quote. I had not heard that quote, so that was really very interesting. Christina Howard coming in hot again, saying, know your vision and know your why. Know the people will fail by the wayside. You have to know when they are there and already celebrate. By Lolita. Jacqueline Underwood, another one coming in hot. Know your vision and know your why. Know that some will fail by the wayside. That one really hit with people for some reason. Understanding that sometimes people aren't going to show up, but know your vision and know your why, and you keep going. Dr. Jamesia Braxton coming in hot again. This show has brought people together. Shake your shoulders, sis. Shake your shoulders. I don't know who was shaking their shoulders, but I'm here for it. Donna Maria, Queen Donna Maria, coming in hot saying, we are feeding the soul on this show. Quoting Lolita Walker. Christina Howard again, love is an emotion that conquers all. Quoting Manny. And people really love not only that Manny's voice is incredible, shout out to Manny and representing the Latinx community, let's go, but that he also puts the youth first, and that he has a heart and a mission for the youth. That really resonated with our audience. And then Sara McCord with the show up. First off, everyone says you show up, Sarah, and you do. And the quotes were coming in hot from all of those show up statements. I see the panel has showed up. Welcome, Carmelia, looking stunning as always. Marvin, you're outnumbered, brother. We got 3 stunningly gorgeous women, but you're looking good standing there with them.
He actually put that request into Glenn. So I just, Marvin, I hope that this made your Friday as you requested.
Absolutely. You put those requests into Glenn and he always delivers.
Absolutely. So talk to me, guys. I want to know a little bit more with the whole show up thing. So we heard Sarah show up and we see that this is hot, right? Showing up is hot. What does showing up mean to you, Marvin? What does it mean to you, Lolita? What does it mean to you, Carmelia? Because the people want to know, how are you guys showing up?
I know Lolita wanted to go. I'll let Lolita go first.
Oh, that was good, Marvin. You see what you did right there? I thought that was really
Yeah,
good.
and Lolita's like literally like duck lips, eyes to the right, like thinking like, what am I gonna say? He's like, I think you're ready. I think you're ready.
I'm ready. Let me get some time for my man to think a little bit over there, Marvin. We're gonna pop it over to you next. But showing up, you know what it means to me? It means going. I'm all about imagery. So it means going out, putting your shoulders back, lifting your head up, and like, I got this thing. It means being confident in who you are and just going in scared. That's what showing up means to me. All right.
I love it. That made me think of that Lizzo song. I got my hair, that whatever that's on. Go ahead, Kamalia.
No, Marvin's gonna go, and I'll go right after Marvin.
Go ahead, Marv.
Sure, absolutely. So, for me, I think so. Integrity is kind of a big deal for me, and also moral compass. And I think sometimes it's very, very difficult to have that integrity when everything around you, there's so much noise, to Glenn's point, so much negativity around you, and that's pulling you in all different directions. But what I really do believe is something that I think it was Danelle Delgado said in one of her segments, where she mentioned there's commitment in service. And I think that's so powerful, because, if you think about that statement, that there's commitment in service, it will give you that laser focus to help you maintain your own integrity, to help you on your own roadmap or your own vision. And really, I think it gives you that perspective to not get distracted by everything that's going on around you, if that makes sense. But that would be my share. I don't want to take up too much time.
I love when you take up so much time that you finish by saying, I don't want to take up too much time. It's my favorite. I know the time's a little different in England, so I'm here for it, brother. I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm going to speak for 7 minutes. Glenn, brother, how are you doing, my dude?
Alexander, I love you. And I also love our next guest, who was here a little bit earlier, in case you didn't get a chance to see, Mr. Manny Cabo. Manny Cabo, the voice. This dude right here is absolutely incredible. Manny, welcome back. How are you, sir?
Missing from the show is the energy. I don't think we have enough energy going on here right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go work on that right now. I'm gonna go work on that. Well, you sing everybody's song. I'm gonna work on some energy. How about that?
Ridiculously facetious, man. Great energy in here, and I love the topic about unity. And it's as Carmelia said, this is breakup month. So I don't know if the set list that I put together today is serendipitous, as I said earlier before, but I'm going to perform another original for you guys. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready, man.
I'm ready, brother. Let's do it.
All right. Here's a little So Close to You. Love the lyrics to this song. Wish I knew they were for, especially the part that says, I love, need, and miss you. Once held you in my arms, like a trail of smoke, you were gone. And the ghost of you is all that's left to hold on to. I need you here right now. So I wanna say, with the breakfast of champions today. Please stay, I'm gone. Were the last words that went on between you and me that day. Now it doesn't matter anyway. You're right, I'm wrong. It was always the same old song between you and me, always. Now look at us today. I'm so far away, still so close to you. Time to pack my bags and go. Can't do this anymore. Gotta turn the page, cause I can't go back to, please stay, I'm gone. Were the last words that went on between you and me that day. Now it doesn't matter anyway. You're right, I'm wrong. It was always the same old song between you and me, always. Now look at us today. I don't really need this. My mouth won't hold it. Just one more night, even though it's time to say goodbye. Yeah. Ooh. Please stay, I'm gone. Were the last words that went on between you and me that day. Now it doesn't matter anyway. You're right, I'm wrong. It was always the same old song between you and me, always. Now look at us today. Whoa. So far away.
This guy right here. This guy, my man, Manny.
Thanks so much, guys. Like I said, it's early for we musicians, but you know, for this room, I'll show up and I'll keep showing up.
Well, I appreciate you always showing up, brother, and always delivering. A little early for the musicians. I understand completely, especially just the nature of your business. But Manny, so you write your own songs, you perform your own songs. Have you always kind of had this talent and gift of being able to capture, like, I feel like when you sing, I feel what you're feeling, right? Have you always had this gift of just really being able to capture the essence of what you feel and lyrically? Has that been a gift of yours forever, ever?
Yeah, you know what? Without being pretentious, man, I think I was born an artist. I just see things, I hear things differently. Thanks to my dad, who was the first person to, put drumsticks in my hand, because I initially started as a drummer. But here's the one thing that people don't realize, just to give you all some hope. I didn't start singing professionally until like I was 30. I was always doing a little bit of back vocals here and there, playing drums. And then obviously in the midst of all that, I was a photographer as well. So this is the space that I've always been comfortable with. I was a terrible student, but I knew how to speak to people. I knew how to direct people. I knew how to bring the best out of their individual and personal brands. That's why I created Manny Cabo Media, which specifically focuses on that. So it allows me to bridge the gap between music and art. So in all honesty, yeah, man, this is my world. Art and being an artist is what I truly love to uphold, because I have a passion for it. And I think working at Apple and hanging out with Steve Jobs for so many years, he's the one who started it all with Think Different. And you have to do something that you love, because if you don't invest in something that you're truly and utterly passionate about, you're always going to have that inkling to quit. So I figured, you know what? This is where I'm going to stay. This is where I live. This is what I'm good at. And I can uplift others to pursue their dreams as well, through music and through my art.
I love it, my man. I love it. Carmelia, this was your first day hanging out with us here on Rise and Grind. What'd you think of the show? What'd you think of what Manny just dropped on us? Give me. I want to hear from Carmelia this morning.
Oh my God. It feels like, when Rich Cardona said about elementary school NFTs, it's like his podcast is like that. I kind of feel like I'm in elementary school, right? Or high school. High school was more fun than elementary school. So it was amazing. And, to the spirit and topic of this room of we are better together. And Manny, I know that recently you had a life experience and life happened for you. So I just want to ask you, how can we be there for you, whether it's supporting your music? Is there something that we can do for you right now? And I just want to give you a warm virtual hug, because I know, again, you recently went through a hurricane, and I learned that about you. So for our friends out there, would love to know how we can be there for you.
Well, you know what? Just offering these spaces to allow me to do what I do best, which is perform, which is uplift, That's more than enough. Early on this year, I know Glenn and so many incredible entrepreneurs that are on this platform right now came together. I had a GoFundMe page, and I'm really happy to say, and I'm humbled by all of your efforts, that I'm slowly but surely getting back to some normalcy. But here's the thing I want to focus on and let you guys know, that even in times of trouble, when you see these doldrums, when you feel these hardships, you have to focus on the gratitude aspect of it. Because I was even grateful for what happened with Hurricane Ida. It was kind of like a cleansing. And I know that sounds crazy, but at the same time, I focused on the things that I had, right? It allowed me to really and truly be grateful for those around me, to focus on what's truly important, like family and friends. And hey, guys, I'm alive. With life comes possibility. So it's a matter of adjusting the things that you focus on. And again, gratitude was a huge part for me. And I just stopped thinking about the void, the things that I don't have, and focused on the things that I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to still have in my life. So that's the one thing I want to encourage everyone to do. You have to welcome the contrast in life, because when you do that, then you understand the clarity of the things that you truly want.
Amen, Manny. I appreciate you so much, my man. Thanks for being here on hashtag Rise and Grind. You all need to go out, connect with Manny, download his albums, connect with his stuff. This has been today's episode of hashtag Rise and Grind, and it's been a little wild. It's been a little gritty. We've had a few different things that we've had to get through today, but I think that overall it was pretty stinking phenomenal. That's how I feel about it. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys feel the same way?
I had a lot of fun.
Been incredible.
Great morning.
We all jumped in at the same
Friday
time.
Yeah, great Friday morning.
I want to know, Carmelia, if we're in school, I want to know what the roles are. Like, who's the teacher? Who's the class clown? That's what I want to know in the after show. That's what I want to know.
Oh my God. I was the kid that always knew all the answers. And I remember this one moment, because I was like, remember, you're not old enough to know who Horseshack is. Do you know what I'm talking about, Glenn? Oh my God.
She said you guys aren't old enough, and then she said, you know who I'm talking about though, Glenn, right?
Anyway, there's this
notice I was just very quiet.
By the way, Glenn and Marvin are the same age. Glenn and Marvin are the same age.
idea.
Exact same age.
Glenn, it has nothing to do. It's only the fact that you're a father of 8 kids. And
I know.
That's why. I have a 23-year-old, just so you know. Anyway, as far as how I was as a kid, I was always the kid that was like, oh, me. I always knew the answer. And because my parents were like, you got to be the best and you got to learn everything. So as far as school is concerned, I just participated in everything. I just said yes to everything. And I think being a child that was always curious and asking tons of questions, which is why I'm in the dating and relationship business, because I'm just so want to be and experience what's happening for someone on their side. And so that's the kid that I am. I'm also a middle child, so I'm the one in the corner getting in trouble. So I'm going to just stop right there.
I love it. And thank you so much for being here with us, Carmelia, today on Rise and Grind. We're going to go hang out on Clubhouse and continue this conversation over there. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, any of those places, come join us over on Clubhouse. If you're on Clubhouse right now, go ahead and hit the plus sign, hit the share button. Let's build this sucker back up, because we're going to be having incredible conversations over there. We will see you on Monday. Today's Friday, right? So we'll see you in a couple of days. We'll see you again on Monday on hashtag Rise and Grind. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.